Everybody, this is our inaugural Hapa Time. To the familia, you know Travis Browne. Travis is a partner in Activate Media, and every Wednesday, we're going to be bringing a little bit of Hapa onto your computer. And all of you can see the beautiful beard and the handsome face. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce that beautiful, handsome man, Hapa. Don't refer to him as the Hawaiian Superman. What's up, Hapa? What's going down?
That's quite the intro. I don't know how to top that one. That's a good one.
Yeah. Listen, I think everybody's kind of like, what the fuck is the setup here? And at the end of the day, Travis and I have been working together for about 6 years, and we have a couple different business relationships that we've been involved with. And Travis is an owner in Activate Media, and Trav, I guess tell the listeners, the familia, as we refer to them, a little bit about just your take on business. Everyone looks at you as a fighter, right? Like, what's your outlook as a businessman?
I mean, you gotta take advantage of the situation that you're in, and having the eyes that I have on me, and having the people behind me that I have, you included, Activate Media. It makes sense to try to capitalize on something that's going to be growing, and eventually I'm not going to be able to fight. I'm not going to be able to fight forever. You know what I mean? We all know that. Everybody knows that you can't be an athlete forever, and you have to get your hands in other things. Otherwise, you're going to be sitting at Walmart being the
greeter,
cleaning up the carts in the parking lot. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
It's unfortunately that's how it goes for a lot of athletes. They peak and then they're not smart with their money. They're not smart with their investments. That's why I have people like you in my corner. So
absolutely.
It's an ongoing thing. You know what I mean? And that's how I look at it. So
yeah. So what's cool for everybody is this is just straight up how we talk, and we haven't gotten a chance to talk about obviously the interview you did in LA where you opened up a little bit just about your disappointment with the media and the coverage in regards to the domestic abuse allegations that you were cleared of. Dude, that it looked like it just kind of came out of you. Like tell me about
man, I was doing press in Vegas for days. I was in Vegas, I think on Wednesday or Thursday or something. I've been doing press for, 4, 5, 6 days. And finally, it just kind of got to a point where everybody's being so vague. It's like, when a reporter says domestic violence, it's like saying that you're casting, like Ebola on somebody.
Yeah.
It's like, and nobody wants to talk about it because it's such a black mark on everybody that's involved in it, and so finally I just got to the point, yesterday, where I was just like, what, last summer, let's talk about last summer. Let's sit down. Let's figure this out. You know what I mean? Because I haven't talked to media pretty much since last summer, and it got to the point where I was tired of beating around the bush kind of a thing, and I wanted to get straight to the point and let the fans know, because mostly, listen, when the fans are judging somebody, for the most part, the information came from the media. You know what I mean? And the media sitting in front of me that day, there were a lot of people that I've seen before, that I've opened up to before, that I have sat in a room with before for, hours after I was supposed to be somewhere, and opened up myself to them.
Right.
And when I needed them, they were like cockroaches in the light. They were gone. You know what I mean? And so for me, that was my opportunity to look them in their eye. I wish, that there were bigger outlets there,
Right.
but they were there, and I looked them in their face and said, where were you guys? When when I got cleared, every single one of them, except for, and I'll give them credit, MMA Heat, Karen Bryant, never reported anything negative.
No, how about our boy, dude? How about Damon Martin? Damon Martin has been an advocate.
He was there, yeah, and
He's been
he
an
was there,
advocate.
and he was cool as hell, man. He was sitting there. That's who was asking me some other questions. It was great.
Yeah.
I like Damon Martin, but you know, Karen Bryant never reported on anything negative about the situation, and her husband actually stuck up for me from a personal standpoint. But all the other media outlets there, pretty much all of them, wrote numerous articles of all the negative stuff about me.
Right.
But then when I was cleared, they were like, "Oh, Travis Browne gets reinstated," and then they were on to the next story. It's like,
well, just so you know, Trav, and I meant to tell you this today, and I think you have a fantastic point, because here's the deal, right? They can say it was inconclusive and you were reinstated, but here's the kicker. And I actually have a couple calls out to a couple of the MMA media outlets. You cannot receive conclusive evidence if you are accused of beating someone. How can anything be conclusive? Unless, of course, there's cameras of her beating her face in with a weight or something. So to me, the bigger thing is they didn't even take the time to think that it's legitimately impossible to conclusively resolve the matter. So if it's inconclusively resolved, that is equivalent to innocence.
I agree 100%. And it's like, you know, man, if people really knew what went on with that investigation, I kind of opened up about it.
Right.
I didn't even get to the details
right.
about that investigation.
No, I know. And listen, you won it, brother. You handled it eloquently.
Exactly.
And just like you did in LA, that's basically what I wanted to tell you. And you know, if the family's listening, they're listening. It don't matter. But like, you said very few words, but the words you chose, and you know me, I would have advised you not to say anything, but the way you delivered it was flawless, and I don't compliment you.
Yeah, and I know that, and I know you want me to be safe and all that kind of stuff, but it kind of got to a point, man, where, you know, being asked the question being phrased in what, you know, in regards to what happened to you last summer.
Right.
It's like, eventually, man, it wore itself out, and I had to address it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I know you were probably sweating balls. You know what I mean? Being like, seeing a video just with the title talking about my, you know, the false domestic violence accusations, which honestly is the first time I've ever seen that. I don't know if you realize.
Oh, of course I did. False.
But
false.
For the first time, a media outlet wrote, Travis Browne opens up about the false domestic violence accusations, which people don't understand how much that means until they're in my seat.
Of course, dude.
You know what I mean? And so that, like, for the first time I felt relieved. Like, I didn't know, opening up yesterday, I didn't know how I was going to feel about it, because I didn't care. Honestly, like I said in that interview, man.
Bro, you got emotional. It was authentic. Like, you couldn't have scripted that.
Dude, I felt betrayed last summer. And by the media, by the fans, and you know, it was just one of those things where I was just like, man, you know what? Fuck everybody.
But you know what though? Moving on though, you're a bigger man than fuck everybody. I know that. But the one challenge that I know you and everybody who pretty much is in the public eye struggles with, and I can only imagine it because if I choose to look at it, it kills me, is talk about when you're sitting at home having a normal day trying to put out positive messages out there as a father, as a professional, and people just absolutely with vitriol take shots at you. And it's not just you, it's people in the public eye. Talk about that adjustment, because that has to make you strong as fuck.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I didn't really have a taste of that until
Yeah.
this incident came up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where people really like came off in their comments as hating me. You know what I mean? Every once in a while, I would get somebody saying, "Oh, well, Travis Browne isn't up to snuff. He's not
Yeah.
top three, whatever."
Fuck.
That kind of stuff, whatever. But when people are questioning my manhood, when people are saying that, like, oh, that I post a picture of my sons playing basketball or playing football, and
Right.
they're like,
Right.
hey, I hope you don't beat them like you beat so and so. It's like, are you serious right now?
Right.
Did you just go onto my page and say this about me? Like, my kids will see that. There's no way to get rid of these comments
Right.
on these. I could delete the picture right now, and my kids will still be able to find that.
Right.
And that's the scary part. That's the sad part. That's what people don't understand.
Well, yeah, the technology age we live in, everything
Yeah.
has a record that don't go away.
Exactly, man. And that's the shitty part about all this.
But here's the thing, Travis, and I think when I've struggled to get through to you, I think having children to run a comparison on is a great thing. But to the younger guys out there, whether they be basketball, any professional athletes, anybody in the public eye, your children, if and when they deal with this same thing, I mean, your advice to them is going to be ignore it because you ain't going to ever stop it, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there's nothing that I can say or do that will undo all the bullshit that happened.
Right.
People were going to believe what they want to believe.
Right.
They're going to want to feel like they get in the good graces of somebody, and they're not going to get anything out of me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're not going to get a freaking half-naked photo out of me. So you know what? They're gonna choose the other one.
Call a spade, brother. No one's jerking off to you.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? I'm not on the. I'm not sitting here freaking, on Playgirl doing a full spread. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody.
Oh, dude, I don't know. I think that would move one. I think one person would buy a copy of that. I don't know who.
And
I think it would be one person.
And I know who. Let's not get twisted. Not gonna mention any names. But that one person is all that matters to me.
Hey, listen, hey, as long as you got your priorities straight, I'm happy for you, bro. But here's one thing that we've been getting hit up with before we go. Like, there's been pictures, you shared pictures. You and Cain are sharing the same motherfucking couch for like days. Like, I mean, I've met him. He's a nice guy, but how is that vibe? How is that vibe?
You know what, man? It's it's funny. I've been in that situation before with my opponent, and it's been awkward. But to be honest with you, the one thing that me and Cain share is the respect for the other fighter. I believe.
Sure.
Maybe that hasn't served him the best in his championship years, because we look at guys, at people like Conor McGregor and the guys that just run their mouth and
Use the mental game to attack.
Yeah. But not only that, but to get the fans involved, you know what I mean? And to get people wanting to watch it. He's not one of those guys. I'm really not one of those guys. That's fine. Whatever. But it was easier. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie. It was all right. The dude I'm about to fight is sitting across the couch from me, but I don't have to hate somebody in order to punch them in the face.
Well, right.
I don't have to.
You're getting paid, right? And the one thing that if I'm you, like I'm walking out with is, and this is from the pictures. I mean, you look, number one, like 2 weight classes bigger than him, and number two, you look in much better shape than him. So that has to leave you walking away feeling pretty comfortable.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's been a process over the last 4 or 5 years. As you've seen me personally, when I first,
Yeah, when you would hold your breath against Czech Congo, when you would load up for a punch and fucking throw it from Saturn.
And then when I was like 275 pounds entering that camp, you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
then
yeah,
fighting
I
at
remember.
255, yeah. So it's like one of those things where it's you know, that definitely has me feel good, you know, going into this fight. But you know, no matter how that guy looks, he fights the same way every time, which is his pace and his cardio is nonstop. So, you know, going into this fight, I know that's something I'm gonna have to battle, and it's something I'm picking up as we speak. You know, every day I'm working on my cardio. Every day I'm working on my pace and my output, um, offensively. You know, I don't want to just be a defensive fighter when it comes to Cain. That's how he dominates people. You know, you watch him
Exactly.
over the last 5 years, and everybody's so worried about his takedown that they fight in a defensive manner and they get their ass whooped. So I'm not going out there to fight, you know, to try to get on my bike and do circles around the guy. I'm gonna go out there and go right after him.
Yeah, and it's funny. It's like, you know, it's like I tell Clay this all the time because he gets hit a lot more than you do, but both of you guys share an enormously strong chin. It's like, bro, if you got to get in there and take one or two to give a couple, you got confidence that what you hit someone with is gonna you know devastate. So
No,
you know what I'm saying? So let's close it out with UFC 200, man. Obviously, you know, people could argue, is it going to be their biggest event with losing their main event? I think it is going to be their biggest event due to primarily the sanctioning in New York, you know, the whole Good Morning America announcement today. Once the New York media grabs this sport, that single-handedly makes it global because New York is the center of the universe. So, I mean, how do you just feel being on that fucking card? I mean, that card is historic and it is global. You have global eyes on you. I mean, that's got to just be fucking epic.
yeah, it's gonna be amazing. You know what I mean? And not only the fact that about being announced that we're legal in New York now and having a card in November and all that kind of stuff.
November
But
12th,
listen,
my birthday, baby. That's it.
November
It's my
12th.
birthday, you know? I
November
think I might know
12th.
someone on
Easy,
that card who
easy.
might be fighting. You know?
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully it goes that way. Heavyweight title fight right there.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Madison Square Garden. How would they like that one?
Yeah.
But you know, it's I mean, for whatever reason, as people, you know, UFC 100 has been pretty much the most epic card since, like in the history of UFC. 200, because not only because of the fights that are going on, we have what, two title fights at the moment. We have, you know, me and Cain. We got a bunch of other
Oh, dude,
guys.
the card is stacked 1 through
Dude,
12.
it's stacked so freaking deep, and the fact that it has 200 for whatever reason is gonna bring people's attention. 200 is such a monumental moment. Just like, I mean, people aren't gonna be thinking about, you know, 199 or 201.
Right.
They're gonna be thinking about 200.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So
Like,
how does that, you as an athlete, you're a guy who's going to get to step in the fucking cage and show the world what you can do. What does that feel like? I mean, is that the kind of shit that just fucking gives you chills all day or
man,
what?
you remember when we got the call and they were like, "Hey, we want Trav to fight
Yeah.
UFC 200." We're like fucking A.
Yeah.
Perfect. Let's do it. It's the biggest stage to date. Let's do it. They're like, "We want you to fight Cain
Right. Which
on
is a
UFC
call that
200."
most people don't want to get.
Yeah, that's the call that
But
most
you
people don't want
welcomed
to
it.
get. We
Yeah.
were like, we were like, fucking A times two.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Fucking A squared.
Fucking
That's
A
what we're
squared.
doing.
Let's
We're
fucking
sitting
do
there.
it like the Romans used to, you know?
Exactly. And so you know, it's like, I mean, going up, and it's not out of any disrespect for Cain, obviously. Dude, you can't do anything.
He's the best UFC heavyweight ever. I'm going to call it right now. There's no better UFC heavyweight ever.
I believe so, up to this day.
Well,
To
yeah,
this day,
I mean, obviously,
as a champion,
you're going to reach that level, but
yes,
up to this point, Cain Velasquez is the best UFC heavyweight ever.
I believe so. And so, and I mean, we share that common opinion. And to be able to go out there and compete against a guy like that on such a big stage, it means,
Oh,
means the world to me. It means the world to us. It means the world to everything. You know what
right,
I mean? This is what our world evolves around.
right.
You know what I mean? Is the fight game. And so, um, yeah, I mean, we're just looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it going in there. And, if you look at my past fights, it takes that caliber of fighter to bring the best out of me.
Yes.
Out of all the guys that I fought, Overeem, Barnett, all these guys. I mean, I brought my A game when I fought the guys that I felt were most dangerous, and I feel like he's the most dangerous heavyweight in the UFC. So you can only expect what I'm going to bring out there, which is my A game,
Absolutely.
and we're going to go for it.
All right, listen, we have this thing we do when we end our videos. You got to do it, right? We go like this. We go activate, out.
I can only do one slap because I'm holding my phone, but I'll do it.
Gotcha. Do it.
Right? You ready? Activate, out.